Open that awning, set up your camp chairs, and put something cold in your hand because
it's The Riveted with Chris and Gina.
we got a loose cannon.
We do. Can you say that? Can you say loose cannon?
We're going to have to.
All right, loose cannon.
Because, I mean, this is a super fun couple. They're passionate about their Airstream. They've not been Airstream owners very, very long, which is kind of cool because we like chatting with folks that are, veteran or new. Either one, doesn't matter. But it was just fun talking to them prior to hitting record, to where now that we're actually recording this podcast with them, I feel like we're finished already.
And
so
it kind of feels that way, but we're not. We're just getting started.
Yeah, but listener, I'm telling you, hold on tight because we got a couple foul-mouthed firemen on here with us, and retired firemen, excuse me, and we just we're telling you to hold on tight because I might have to use the bleeper button.
The bleeper. That's okay. Let's test it.
Let me test it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it works.
So, listeners, should you hear that, that means something really bad was said, but hopefully not. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a great podcast. We've got a great couple on. They are from the great state of Virginia. Their names are Kevin and Lynn Edwards, and we're glad to have them. And enjoy.
I'm very happy.
Hope you have fun, you guys, and welcome to The Riveted with Chris and Gina.
Hi, you guys.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Only the person with evil in her name is going to be the one that's going to need to be bleeped.
Hey, it works for us. We like it.
So we
like living on the edge.
Absolutely. So we are excited to have you on the podcast, and by all means, be loose, be casual. We like to just have chats like we're sitting around the campfire, and we're looking forward to hearing your story and hearing about your passion for owning an Airstream and having it be part of your life. So,
yeah.
Lynn, we are glad that you told us about your foul mouth, and we're prepared to push this button. So,
yes.
It is a little legendary too. One of Kevin's coworkers even commented one time he was assigned temporarily up at the academy with me where I was working, and mentioned it to Kevin. He's like, "Your wife has one of the foulest mouths of any women in this department." And I'm like, what? I don't agree with that. He's like, "Oh yeah, you do." Well, great. That's my claim to fame.
And I will say, I don't think it's, she tried to quantify it by saying one of the foulest mouths of women in the fire department. I would say she probably has one of the foulest mouths in the fire department.
I'm going to argue with that. Argue with that one.
I'm just glad that
she's a tough chick.
Yeah. Well, whenever we created our podcast and had to, we went through all the steps to get it set up on Apple and Spotify and Amazon Music and all that kind of stuff, we actually had to choose as we were creating the podcast whether it was a clean or an explicit podcast. And
what's so odd about that is that he actually asked me what I thought, and I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, where in your mind did you even think you had to ask that question?"
So anyway, we're prepared just in case. But so
excellent.
Which that's usually what we always joked about with Lynn, that when she got in the presence of a lot of blue uniforms is when it came out.
Oh,
so
okay.
So I'm wearing a red shirt. She's wearing a plaid shirt.
Flannel.
So maybe it'll be slightly suppressed.
It may be a little tamed down. Too.
Okay. All right. There you go.
That's okay.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still relatively newly retired. We retired back in August.
Congratulations.
So we're still trying to feel all that stuff out. But thank you so much.
Yep. So we always like to kind of get started with the conversation about your story by just finding out a little bit about why you kind of chose Airstream. And it sounds like, you've owned one for a few years now. You love it, but like, what was the backstory? Like, you were active career, both of you career fire people. You've told us that in the fire service. So what got Airstream on your radar map, and how did you get started?
So I think, it started with a lot of our firefighters, like friends and even families, had RVs, different RVs around and everything. We didn't know anybody that really had an Airstream. In particular, they just had a lot of other box trailers, fifth wheels, Class A's, Class C's. And so we kind of talked about it, but we were kind of hesitant because we like to do a lot of other traveling as well. And we didn't want it to be like we felt like we had to have, like all of our vacations had to be around the trailer or, going out and using it. So we, again, had been looking. We had a rather kind of poor experience with RVing when our daughter was very young. But that kind of pushed us in that direction of, like, if we were to ever do it, what would we do it? And that's where Lynn was like, one day said, well, if we were to ever get a travel trailer, it'd have to be an Airstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go,
But
Lynn.
that is also just because I love the vintage look. Like, if you look at our house, we have a lot of antiques. That's our style. And this could be controversial. I have run a couple accidents in our job where you see things break apart on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never seen an Airstream involved in a wreck, but I would think it would hold together a little bit better than some of the travesty we've seen on the highway.
Yeah.
And you can say what you want to say on this podcast. We're very open here and truthful. And I'm assuming you're talking about another RV, like a box trailer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen some other like traditional RVs that have not survived very well in accidents. And I'm not, again, I haven't seen an Airstream post accident, other than some pictures and stuff, but not personally.
Right.
So I can't say that. Definitely.
Well, and it's good to share that kind of stuff on here, because if someone is listening who's debating about one type of trailer versus another, hearing what people have to say, when they compare or whatever, that might help them in their decision. So share away. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a great point, Lynn, about the accident stuff and seeing other brands that are just destroyed on major accidents and things like that, causing you to gravitate towards Airstream. But the thing that, not to say that an Airstream can't have a major accident, they have, but they tow so well, great aerodynamics, low center of gravity. I mean, everybody that's an Airstream owner or enthusiast understands that design characteristic. So the likelihood of you seeing one in a major event like that is lower because of those design elements. And so between that and it's good to hear you say kind of you gravitated towards the styling and so forth. So for you to just tell Kevin, hey, if we get another travel trailer or a travel trailer, it's got to be an Airstream. That's.
She put her foot down.
Well, yeah.
The woman knows what the woman knows. She knew what she wanted.
And it was that time where Airstreams weren't they didn't have the aluminum skinned inside. And so when we even looked at some of the old ones, she was like, "No, I don't like that one." And it was trying to figure out like that, like if we were going to get a used one and like totally redo it and do a cut job or whatever.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that because again the price of Airstreams, definitely is, as a young family, is always one of those things like, can we really afford like this?
Right.
Yeah.
So then coming out of COVID, we were getting the kids. Actually, the kids had already gotten scuba diver certified. The three of us, my wife or Lynn, myself, and our daughter Jordan, were going down to get our rescue diver certification. It's just south of Richmond is a quarry. So we were passing Virginia Airstream, and we said, "Well, let's just stop. We have some time. Stop, take a look, see what they got." So by then, Lynn and I had talked, and we really liked the kind of the layout of with the flying clouds, with the with all of them, with the banquette
across the back,
right? Yeah. So we wanted that style, but we really thought like the 23D was probably going to be like our thing. We really wanted that. but we'd never really seen one in person. But lo and behold, they had a 2016 23D there on the lot that they had just gotten in recently and put out. So we got inside it, and we were looking at it, and we went to it, looked at a whole bunch of other ones, looked at some 25s, a couple other 22s, but we really fell in love with that 2016 23D. So the hour and a half drive from there down to the quarry, we kept just bouncing it back and forth between the two of us and kind of working through, like, is this the time? Is this, again, was it meant to be that we happened to just stop? We weren't really looking. There was no real reason. It wasn't like it was part of our plan of the day to stop there. We just made a last minute decision to stop.
To be fair.
Oh, go ahead.
That's how a lot of stuff happens.
Yeah. That's good.
Nothing's ever really planned.
Yeah, just kind of we're like, well, they had one. Yeah. It's a sign,
Yeah, well, what I was going to say about that was you actually, you kind of had it in your mind that you were interested, but then when you actually went and saw one, then
gets in your blood.
It kind of gets you more excited. Yeah.
So did
the fact that it was so well taken care of?
Yeah,
it was
that's
in great
good.
shape.
Phenomenal shape.
That's good.
Yeah.
I would say it was like showroom ready. For being a used unit, it had
great.
You could tell like the oven had never been used before. I don't think the shower had ever been used. Just a bunch of stuff that was like, it was great. Come find out later, the single owner that had it before that was an engineer, and it was one of those things you start going through the manual, and he had everything like highlighted.
Oh wow!
And like notes written in it. Yeah. It's like the perfect for a first time RVer.
Wow!
It was like the perfect RV to get, the perfect manual, because like there was like nothing left to chance. Like this guy did everything for us.
Yep.
He had stuff. This is the air conditioning unit you have.
Wow.
This is the oven you have. We're like, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Things that didn't apply, he like crossed out and said, like, don't worry about this. Then you need to worry. Make sure you do this. Make sure it was perfect.
So needless to say, you drove down to the quarry and then you did your deal.
You passed your test, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right.
Got that all done. I think even that night.
I think we called.
We called our salesperson, and said, "Hey, what do you need from us to put a hold on it?
We're buying it.
Yeah, we're gonna buy it."
And your daughter was with you during all this. What did she think?
Yes. So, and she loved it.
Well, wait. First, when we said, hey, we're just going to do a quick stop at Airstream, she rolled her eyes. She's like, how long is this going to take? So they're not thrilled immediately.
Right.
But then we we were looking at everything while we were there. So while we were actually talking to them, they had a couple of base camps inside.
In the showroom.
So she was climbing around the base camps. And then, so of course, then she kind of started getting the bug for it a little bit. And it was nice because we knew we were going to use the trailer down at Lake Phoenix for any other classes that she was going to take or that we were going to do down there. So it was kind of nice to have the three of us there that day to look at it, because it put 3 adults in that 23-footer to kind of give us an idea. Hey, would 3 people or even 4 people be kind of comfortable, in this 23-footer? And so, I think that kind of helped us, actually.
That's cool.
With making that decision. So, so we had it we had the 23-footer. We did our shakedown trip. Everything went well. Got it down to the lake a couple times. Did another week out, just like in the Shenandoah Valley. But, again, it was kind of a quick year for us. We didn't buy it until July, the first week of July. And then by the time things got going, then it was getting to be wintertime. And we had to wrap it up. So we didn't get a lot of activity in that first year that we had the trailer. In June of 24, so that was July of 23, June of 24, rolls around. They're doing a local Airstream only RV show here in Northern Virginia. And we didn't have anything to do that day. And our daughter's like, hey, why don't we go down? She was going to meet her now fiance at the time, but just her boyfriend at the time down there. And they're going to go look around.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
We're going to look at.
All right, time out. So you're talking about the same daughter that just 6 months to a year earlier rolled her eyes about going to look at the Airstream the first time, and now she's like, "Hey, I want to go look at Airstreams."
Yeah, she just wanted to go down. She wanted to go look at some base camps, and
that's great.
Just look.
Yeah. And in that time, we had taken it to the lake.
We taken it to the lake
because she had gotten her dive instructor certification and was working for a dive shop, so she was there a lot more. She loved having the trailer there.
That is fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah, she could just roll out of the trailer, go teach a class, come back over, get changed, eat dinner. She really caught the bug quickly.
That's awesome. Fantastic. And what's her age again? Tell me.
She is 23 right now. 23. She'll be 24 in March. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great.
She didn't have her full-time job yet. So she's like, yeah, I just want to go look. I'm like, well, your dad and I looked for 8 years. So sure, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that works.
No, that's good.
So they had gone down there. They had been looking for an hour or two. We met them down there and started looking around. And they had a bunch of new ones, and there were some used ones there. And it's always nice to look at the new stuff that's out there and give you either ideas on things you want to upgrade or change, or even if you may go and buy a new one at some point.
So tell me about this thing you went to. Was it like outside, like a little shop, like a parking lot sale, or was it at the dealership?
No, it's a big indoor expo center.
Okay.
In Chantilly, Virginia.
Yeah.
So they do a bunch of different shows there, and
cool.
Yeah, they just had Airstream products.
Just only Airstreams at this one.
Oh wow.
In June.
Cool.
So we got done looking, and we were getting ready to walk out, and one of the sales guys walked over, and he's like, "Hey, are you interested?" And I said, "No, I told you we're just looking. We weren't really looking to buy. We already have one." But there happened to be a 27-foot Globetrotter, 2020 Globetrotter that was sitting there, and the door was locked, so we never got inside it.
Yeah, we just kind of thought maybe somebody bought it.
I thought it had been sold. Yeah, I thought it had been sold. It just didn't have a sold sign on it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, what about the 2020 Globetrotter there?" I said, "It's the door's locked. Has it been sold?" He goes, "No, I don't think so. Let me go see." He comes back with the keys. He's like, "No, it's still for sale." He goes, "We didn't know the door was locked." So we went in and started looking around at it and everything. And he goes, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "The same thing applies. If you can get me in the same price that I'm paying now, then we'll take it." So he came back 5 minutes later. He goes, "Okay, when do you want to sign the paperwork?"
Wow.
So
what?
I was like, our daughter went to look at a base camp, and we walked away with a
27-foot
Globetrotter.
After only owning an Airstream for
not even
year. Just 11 months.
That's awesome. Well, I mean,
everybody jokes about you always buy your second Airstream first, or in some cases people say your third Airstream first.
Yep, we should have.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah, I think that I really loved the 23D. Just for us, with the way we do stuff and everything, that corner bunk, I think for a weekend or a bunch of weekend trips and stuff would be fine. But with us looking to start doing not necessarily full time, but longer trips,
Extended,
2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks long.
That makes
climbing
sense.
over each other every day, it just wasn't going to cut it. And
well, what sounds exciting about that story? I mean, not only just you got up to a little bit bigger trailer and different trim level and that kind of stuff, but you're able to get a floor plan that had that rear seating area like you originally wanted to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely.
It also had a lot of things that we had said we wanted to add to the 23-foot standard. It had solar already. We didn't have that on the 23.
Yeah.
Had the bike rack. We didn't have that. Had awnings all around.
Yeah, the awning package.
There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, obviously, it was 4 years newer, so there were just a bunch of the different things, and a Globetrotter as opposed to a flying cloud.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Was the Globetrotter trim is just beautiful. That's
yeah.
I love the little drink bar that goes along the
drink ledge.
Yeah, the drink ledge.
The ledge.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
congratulations on that one.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And sorry for your daughter.
So that just happened.
Yeah, she's still looking.
What is it about that trailer that you feel like you like different or best about it compared to the 23? I mean, I know there's a huge difference in design, but like, is there one particular thing that you just love?
They're discussing
the queen bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
The fact that you can walk around the queen bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to roll over Kevin to get to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's all the little things. Right? So there's the 6 inches width difference, which you don't think, when you talk about it just sitting around the table and you're like, oh, it's a 6 inches wider.
Yeah.
So Kevin, are you telling Kevin? Hold on.
I know where she's going with this.
Kevin, are you telling me that size matters?
Why would I ever admit to that?
Say it. We know you want to say it.
We know
you want.
Yes.
He tried to keep talking and not let me talk about that, didn't
he? 6 inches matters.
It does matter.
Yeah. No, the way Kevin will put it is, it's more storage.
Oh, storage. Yeah, remember, I gotcha.
It is longer and wider.
Oh, I love it.
So, well,
maybe Kevin will be the bleeped one.
Yeah. That's okay.
I'll tell you that the thing about your floor plan that Gina and I are so envious of. I mean, we have a queen bed as well, but ours is in the rear of the trailer. Our floor plan, they put these lockers on either side of the bed that kind of block the wraparound windows in the bedroom, but it's extra hanging lockers for storage and everything. That's how they did our 30-foot.
Well, it was an option.
Yeah.
But like yours, the way that your queen bed is and a 27 and especially a Globetrotter, it's got all those wraparound windows in the bedroom, and Gina and I are very envious of that. We love that.
We thought we would need the lockers.
Yeah. I mean, so you've got...
We hadn't needed them.
Lots more space in your bedroom, even though your trailer's a little shorter than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that I hadn't even, this is terrible to admit, noticed that when we were looking at it in the showroom, and that's the whole reason we wanted the banquette, was because you had that huge wraparound view.
Yeah.
While you're sitting at the table, and then we got it in the bedroom too.
Yeah, you got it.
It is nice.
Both ends of the trailer have that.
Yeah.
Up in New Hampshire back in the fall, to be able to lay there in the bed and like just open up the curtains and like look right out the windows all the way around up at the sky.
Yeah.
Was really nice.
That's cool. Yeah, that's probably you could chalk that up as one of your enjoyable experiences that you got because of owning an Airstream, because a lot of other brands and styles wouldn't give you that kind of view in the bedroom. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, even
at the front,
23-footer.
Yeah, or even the front.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's been nice, and it's nice having the second air conditioner, all the other mechanical stuff. Mm-hmm. That's just a little bit different.
That's the one thing about that I absolutely love about the Airstreams. And whenever we go to a actual campground, which we don't do very often, but when we do, and we see these other types of rigs, whether they be Class A's to, small trailers or whatever, some of them do not even have windows, or they have like 2 or 3 small windows, or one big one only, or something. And I love that about the Airstream and how it's just surrounded in windows. So even when you're inside, you get to experience the outside because of all the windows.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
That trip to New England that we took this past fall, when we were on our way back through, we stopped to see friends in Vermont, and Kevin found this campground, and our spot backed right up to a river.
Oh yeah.
So you had the river running right behind us, like maybe 25 feet away. All the foliage was changing, it was gorgeous.
Yeah,
it was absolutely gorgeous. And you're right. We could sit there and it was like you were outside.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
That's a perfect description of enjoying the inside design with that wraparound window in the back like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our friends that have a Class C even commented on that when they stopped. When we were traveling back home, they met up with us, and then they hadn't been inside our trailer yet. And she came in and she's like, "Man, it's so nice, just all the windows that you guys have. Like you're sitting here, and you can see like everything around you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
and the light.
Yeah.
All the light that comes in is beautiful.
So let's pivot a minute and. I mean, you mentioned you just recently retired this past summer. Share a little bit about like what you did for a living and how that added to your life with regard to kind of your outside adventure kind of passion with Airstream.
So Lynn and I both worked for Metropolitan Fire Department in Northern Virginia for what, 28 years?
We retired with 28, each of us with 28 years.
Wow.
Firefighter and paramedics.
Well, thank you for your service there. Yeah. That's great.
Oh, thank you. But we both grew up in an area that was more rural and a lot more outdoor activities, and you were hiking and on the river, and where we live now is very suburban.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get back to that, to what we grew up around and being outside.
We did not meet in the fire department. We were actually married before we got that comes up at some point in conversation.
That's kind of a significant thing in the fire service. So like, oh, did y'all meet here? We're like, no.
Yeah.
we were married before we got hired in the fire department.
So I could only imagine like your work life, having the daily stresses of that. Now that you've finished that career and you're retired, being able to slow that pace down and enjoy Airstreaming is probably dramatically different, but I'm sure you're loving it at this point.
Yeah, it's nice to well, one, everybody says once you're retired, right, you don't have really a schedule. It's nice not to have to wake up, to an alarm clock and things like that. But to finally, feel like we can go out and like enjoy life, and I feel like we're both lucky that we're able to retire at a really, what I'd say is a young age. We're just in our early 50s. So
wow, that's awesome. Well, and it's the cool thing about that is that, you're at that age, and especially with adding an Airstream into your life in retirement, you're going to be able to like enjoy some experiences that if it was another 10 or 15 years before you started it, you may not be able to. So that's really, really awesome.
And that was some of the push, I think, when we did make the decision to buy it. What stopped us, I think, back in 2018-ish was, again, just initially the cost and
schedules.
Yeah, it just schedules. Yeah, there was a couple things, but I think really at that time was kind of like, well, are we really ready to pull the trigger on something so expensive and we don't know that we're going to use it, like to make it work. Yeah,
immediately.
Right.
There's always that. Am I going to really get my bang for my buck kind of out?
Right.
Coming out of COVID, again, it became really evident that life is too short. And especially, with us surviving through it with our job and everything, it just became very, very evident that, you can't take all this stuff with you and you need to go out and get those experiences. And a way for us to get those experiences was to pull that trigger, get the trailer, and start going out and doing it.
Yeah. Well said. That's great.
That is well said. Thank you for saying that.
And then with our daughter and our son getting older, eventually, I'm assuming that they're going to have kids of their own. And then that'll give us the opportunity, with us having the trailer, to take the grandkids and, get them to have those experiences as well. And, everybody always says, with Airstreams, they're a generational RV. So
Yeah,
hopefully
multi-generational.
We'll be able to take it. When we get to the point where we don't want to be traveling around and setting up a trailer and everything, we can just give it to one of the kids and go, hey, here you go. Because again, it's a 27-footer. They should be able to grow into it very easily. I would hope.
Don't you think that's kind of what your daughter was hoping for with the 2016?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had to say that. I just had to go there.
Really, you could just give me the 16.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
You really need to trade it in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
I don't
funny.
think so, kid. We're not. Had we won the Powerball, then maybe.
Well, what I think is cool is that it made an impression on her, and you may have created another Airstreamer already, even though she hasn't owned one. It's like it's just already in her life because you guys acquired one and brought it into the family. So maybe it's always going to be in her blood. So when the time comes, that she'll definitely get one.
Mm-hmm.
She's already planning out the weekends she wants to go diving at that quarry and putting them on the calendar of, you're bringing the Airstream down, right?
Oh.
You're bringing the Airstream down so I could stay.
I thought you were going to say,
oh my God.
Say like joint custody or something. It's like, all right, I get her this weekend. You can get her that weekend.
Yeah. So hold on just a minute. Now, who made the payments on this thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
You can rent it like an Airbnb kid,
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny. She's already like planning out the summer schedule.
That's awesome. So
I don't know.
I love it.
I don't know if Dad's quite ready to have her driving the big truck yet. So
I hesitate saying this because I feel like I'm jinxing us.
Do I need to get the button ready? Hold on. Do I need to get the button ready?
No, actually, this is a good one.
Oh, okay.
We were backing into the parking spot at the campground in New Hampshire. And there was a small, not Airstream, parked next to us. And no pressure. They're sitting out there at the fire ring. They're like, oh, here we go. Let's try and get this in the spot. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. And we did. Kevin relatively easily put it on the campsite, but we also
nailed it.
We're used to driving larger vehicles. We used hand signals that we use in the fire department on which way to go.
Yeah.
So, but even with all of that, Kevin put that thing on the spot first try. Gets out, he's like, "Yeah, looks good." These people are like, "How long have you been driving that? That was amazing." And we're like, "Yeah, it's nothing but a thing,
Yeah.
We're like, "Oh, yeah, we do it like that all the time."
Okay, so we got to go. So I need you to go a little deeper on that. So paint the picture. So he's in the driver's seat. You get out to direct him, and did you talk through a cell phone or anything, or was it all just hand signals?
All just hand signals. But you did have the backup camera.
I had the backup camera, and I'll turn up the volume on the backup camera when we're backing up. Just so I can hear her, even though I have the window down and I can still hear her.
Yeah.
It's just that added, I'm not really expecting to hear anything other than a scream, stop.
Yeah. And so you did the hand signals and he backed in and nailed it and everything. And Lynn, you knew where you wanted the trailer to be positioned, you told him where to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we got out, we looked at the site really quick. Okay. I think I stopped you once because there was a tree and the branches were getting kind of close. I'm like, all right, swing a little wider. But even once he pulled the brake, I was like, damn.
Yeah. And so then
we just did that.
Kevin, did you get out and take your hat off and wave it to the crowd? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yes.
Oh my.
It was funny because it was
oh no, this is a daily occurrence. We do this all the time.
It's one of those that everybody has it happen, right? You get to a campsite and there's a bunch of people sitting around, they've got their drinks out, and everybody's going to be watching because
it's an Airstream.
If you were in if you were in the chair, you'd be watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So, especially it being a 27-foot Airstream, it draws a pretty good amount of attention.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, and is we're in a tiered campsites at that location. So everybody above us can very easily see down on what's going on.
Lots of vantage points for seeing any mistakes. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you.
So when I pulled up, past our site to get ready to back in, I could look directly over at the neighbors that were above us that were sitting there.
Yeah.
So I saw them. I knew they were watching. So it's like all of a sudden that pressure, you're like, okay, these people are watching. You don't want to look like an idiot, So
you did.
I would like to think I upheld the Airstream name and looked like we were seasoned pros.
Pros, I like it.
If a really huge RV comes rolling in, you're just you have to watch them park because you never know what's going to happen. And then Airstreams, people just stare at them when they're parking too because they're just enamored by the trailer for one, but they just your eye gets drawn to it, so you definitely are being watched when you're parking an Airstream for sure.
Yeah, they're just easy to park there.
They
really are.
Yeah, I mean it's so easy, but I could only imagine, and like you mentioned that if you can drive a 40,000-pound fire truck down a little small tight road in Northern Virginia, you can probably park an Airstream.
Yes, you would hope so. Anyway, yeah.
Well, it's always easier driving somebody else's thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, when not as worried about it when it's you don't own it.
When it's your own Airstream trailer, and you're like, man, I don't want to put any scratches on this thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like we had Chad Watson on a few weeks ago as a guest, and he's an Airstream salesperson and grew up in the RV industry, and he's pulled and towed and backed RVs of all kinds his entire adult life. Even as a kid, he did it, but he sold Airstreams for I don't know how many years now, and he's moved a ton of them around, but he described the first time that he actually parked his that he owned and how he was scared to death. And it's like, the first time I actually parked my trailer in the first campsite we went to was an unnerving experience, even though he had towed them for years. And so I understand where you're coming from.
So, hey, you guys, before we wrap up, whenever we had our warm-up call, you guys mentioned something that you had planned to do with the Airstream coming up, and I would love for you to share it with the listeners today, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. So our family are big hockey fans. So one of the things we had just started to brainstorm was we want to visit every hockey NHL venue.
Oh, that's cool.
And try to get, maybe not over the course of one season. We do have the luxury of, though, hockey season is the longest sports season. So we can start early and go into the spring and, early fall to the springtime. But that's something that we want to start planning. We haven't got very far past, well, we got to go north early. We got to go north at the beginning of the season, go across Canada, hit a bunch in the really cold cities, and then work our way south.
That's really cool.
That's something we would love to do, and that'll definitely be something we chronicle on social media, because that's going to be fun.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
We're trying to figure that all out, and then trying to avoid the big snowstorms in the West, and it'd be, there's definitely I don't think we would, it would probably be virtually impossible to do it in a year. I'm thinking probably this is like a grand plan of a couple years, and do a couple months, 3 months, maybe 4 months, 1 year, and then knock some of them out, and then the next year
separated into divisions.
Oh,
so would you?
There you go. We could do this division 1 year, and the next year another division.
So would you? So like, what's your team? What do you have the same team as a family, or are you split up in like different teams?
We're
absolutely not the same team.
I grew up in New Jersey, right outside between New York City and Philly. So I've always just been a Devils fan. So still am.
And because we live in Virginia, I'm a Capitals fan.
Right.
And Jordan jumped ship when she got engaged / dating her boyfriend. So she's a Bruins fan a little bit, but she's also an Avalanche.
She's an Avalanche fan. Back when I was still working for the fire department, I had to do some traveling out to Denver. And while I was out there, went to a game and got her jersey. And so she's been an Avalanche fan
since she was like 10.
Yeah, like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So it's not going to be one of those deals where you're going to these different arenas to follow your team because you got multiple teams that you're following. So you're going to like just build a schedule around visiting the actual arenas and seeing a game, whatever the schedule fits, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
That would be the plan.
I mean, it'd be great if we could catch one of those teams, but it's definitely not going to be following because it's just that one's hit or miss.
We've always done that as just a traveling family. If we were in a town or a city and they had a sports team, like AAA baseball, things like that, if they had a team and they were playing while we were staying there, we always tried to go to the game. So we did that with AAA baseball. It was always easy traveling with the kids during summer. We've even made it to Boston to a Sox game when we were there in the summer. Most recently, I was down in Charleston, South Carolina. So Lynn and I were able to catch one of the AAA hockey games down there.
Yeah.
The Rays. Yeah. So, that was fun.
Well, I think that that sounds like an awesome thing to do, especially in your Airstream. And I would hope that you may be able to, assuming that they allow it with the parking or whatever, like, wouldn't it be cool to roll in there and be able to park with your Airstream at the arena and
in the parking lot there
and just tailgate or whatever out of the Airstream and then
that'd be great.
Go into the game. That'd be awesome.
We might have to, we'll have to. Hey, give us a banner. We'll hang it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us something. We'll put it on social media.
Well, wouldn't it be neat? Like, I'm thinking, who would sponsor it? Like, the NHL, I would think that would be cool that you're taking and you're traveling the country to hit all these arenas. You know, you've got obviously your favorite teams, but the main objective is that you're following NHL hockey and you're traveling.
Just a loyal fan.
Yeah, you're a loyal fan going all over the country. You know, and if nothing else, maybe they like give you like
beer,
buy one get one free tickets or something to hit them all.
Free beer would be amazing.
Free beer.
I know it's already going to be bad. I'm gonna have to pack less because I'm gonna be walking out with like 72 hats and jerseys and sweatshirts and because we'll be like, hometown team, gotta assimilate.
Maybe somebody from Airstream Club International is listening and is willing to start looking at setting up a caravan.
Oh yeah, hockey caravan.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That'd be fun.
Hockey caravan,
or even
that would be.
Yeah.
Or even if Airstream could be like, hey, can we negotiate a place for these people to park?
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That would be.
That would be.
Great.
Yeah.
All of the above. That would be neat. Well, I mean, the big thing is having the comforts of home behind you, with the Airstream, being able to, Airstreams are a lot easier to just whip into a little parking area. They don't have slides. They don't necessarily have to be leveled properly to be able to be used. I mean, obviously, within reason, but what we love, one of the main things we love about ours is that whether we're pulled over at a rest area or boondocking somewhere or in an RV park, either one, the interior is the same no matter where we're located. So, so even if you just had to squeeze into a little parking lot, at an arena, you've got all the comforts of home.
Full capabilities for everything is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you can get to everything.
Yeah, you don't have to have a big production setup in order to be able to use your trailer at a non-typical camping place like a sports arena parking lot or something. So That's really cool. I wish you the best with that. I think that would be awesome.
I hope that works out for you because I'd like to see how that journey goes.
Yeah. Now, would you put like team stickers on the Airstream or something as you do it, or is that like not like I don't know? What would you do as a memento?
Thinking about getting one of the maps. Where you can put the state stickers on, and I know they have a Canadian that is the provinces.
They do,
and I thought getting one of those.
How many? I don't even know. Like, how many are there? How many different locations are there? I don't even know.
I'm not even sure now because Utah just expanded. So Utah's got the team now. I'm gonna have to go through the divisions. Yeah.
Oh no, you gave her something to do.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a lot. Oof.
Yeah.
That's neat. Well,
I think the biggest ones that always would worry me probably is just the Canadian ones. Again, just with weather and stuff like that, but we can figure it out.
Yeah, that's
awesome. You got to head north before the season starts.
Yeah, and then you.
Yeah,
I'm always envious of seeing people. Everybody's posting their pictures. They've got their Airstreams out and they're like full on winter camping. So like they're out, boondocking in some place that's all snow or whatever. And like I said, I'm envious of that because
we're just not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there.
We haven't figured that.
Well, seeing an Airstream parked in a camping environment with snow around is beautiful. But But the flip side of that is if it's travel day and you've got a tow in those kind of conditions, or even if the roads are passable but still have wet, nasty, sludgy stuff, you don't want to see an Airstream after you've towed it through a road that's been covered with slag and salt and nastiness and all that. So winter camping when you actually have to move is no fun. So if you're bouncing from city to city, in that kind of climate, that wouldn't be fun.
It kills me now when we come back and it's just a little bit muddy and dirty, during the summertime.
You got to get over that.
I got to get it home. I got to get home. I got to wash it off.
Yeah.
No, you got to get over that.
Anal.
No.
Anal.
Now, okay, that's a whole different story. But you got to get over that part. Chris was that way. And I thought, Chris, are we ever going to get to use it before you rub all the aluminum off?
No.
Like you're constantly washing it. Stop.
Now look.
And he finally got over that.
It looks so good when it's shining.
It does.
It really does.
But
you feel like you can't use it.
Okay, but think about this. They're 27 years in the fire service. 28. They polish the chrome. They keep the trucks clean.
I understand.
Everything's
I understand.
in its place.
He'll get over it. He'll get over it. It's sooner or later.
Yeah. I'll let you unhook your truck and you can wash that. How about that?
I mean,
okay.
Chris was so bad.
You just take to the car wash.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Chris did. Chris was so bad that before we could pull in anywhere, he had to stop by a car wash, when the self-serve things, so that we could have a clean rig pulling in wherever we were going, boondocking, campground, no matter where it was, it had to be clean.
If we were going to be sitting somewhere for a good period of time, I wanted to have the trailer clean. If it was nasty going down the road. Yeah.
You want to be good. You want to be good stewards of the Airstream name. You want to show a good product.
Yeah. See there? That's exactly right. I agree with you, Kevin. Yep.
Oh,
that's good.
But if it's dirty, it's well traveled.
That's right. It's used.
There you go.
You're using it. You're having fun in it.
You're using it.
Otherwise, it looks like you just got it.
What's on the agenda for you in the spring when you do get it out and get it dewinterized? You got anything planned, or are you just going to kind of wing it?
Yeah. So we are members of the Airstream International. So 3214 is our number, right?
I
think so.
Yes, it
cool.
is.
The trailer's not sitting here. I can't look at it.
Can't look at the window.
So we are our primary club here is Virginia, the Virginia Club. Yeah. So we're going to try and get out and do a few of the rallies with them and get a little bit more active in that in that group.
Yeah.
I would really like to do. They do one of the rally in the streets. down in Abingdon, Virginia.
Oh, we like those.
I'd really like to do one of those. I just think that's really cool. Our daughter went to school down by there, and we were actually driving through Abingdon 3 or 4 years ago when they were down there
having the rally.
Are they going to?
So,
do they do that every year? Like, is it on the schedule now?
Every year. Yeah, it is on the schedule this year. I looked the other day. I was starting to like kind of leaf through some of the stuff locally or relatively local for us. So I saw that on there. So I want to try and get registered for that.
That would be cool. We're going
to do.
Abington is a beautiful town.
International.
Oh, you are going to international.
Yeah, it's such a
good.
Yep. Yeah, it's for us. It's relatively close, just up in York, Pennsylvania. So a couple hour drive. So that'll be a relatively easy one for us.
Yeah.
And then again, that'll be our first international. I feel like we're East Coast, so we have to go, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
those are such
but we are
big rallies, and you'll have a blast for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Abington thing, what I was going to say was it's where we're located right now is in kind of central North Carolina, and we've been through Abington several times for other reasons. It's a beautiful little town, and we love those kind of urban style.
They're fun
rallies, so that'll be a blast.
Just know that everyone in the town is going to want to come see your Airstream.
Yeah, if they do offer the open house kind of thing,
yes,
which is kind of fun.
We spent hours showing off the Airstream there.
Yeah. We need to check the date
Kevin
for
will
that.
have to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, I love it.
Very nice. Well,
and you show it off with pride, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So we
But that goes back to the whole Airstream thing. Like again, you can go anywhere, and you get into a campground and you see another Airstream, and you just say hi to people, and the next thing you know, you're talking, you're sitting around the campfire, and you're learning a bunch of stuff from them. And again, there are people that you've never met before, but you just have that instant connection with the Airstream, which again goes back to probably why we looked at Airstream in the first place.
Right.
So it's kind of like our job that we just retired from. We can go to any city or any town and go to a fire station and be like, hey, we're firefighters from here. And then there's that instant bond between you, and you can find, you all of a sudden find out, hey, where's the best place to eat? Where's this?
Yeah.
Where's that? So,
that's good.
Having that kind of that instant family or that instant camaraderie with a group of people, that culture with a group of people, just because you have the same travel trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we've gone, everybody we've met with an Airstream has been just so wonderful.
Yeah,
for sure.
Lots of advice, just a great time, willing to help.
Yep.
It's like you're not buying just an Airstream, but you are becoming part of a community. We've had this conversation a couple of times with, some club members and stuff that they were very proud of that. It's a huge community, and everyone helps each other.
The Airstream is helping you to have those experiences. And I'm telling you, like you dive into some of these rallies in the spring, and you go to international, and you go out and you do some other cool things like with the hockey arenas and stuff like that. The next thing you know, that Airstream is going to be making memories for you that you're just going to lose track of them all.
Well, it already has with the diving with their daughter and stuff.
All that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So
it's nice to just meet all these new people and start making those connections, and talk to people that end up knowing somebody that you met somewhere else, and it's real nice, and being able to basically take the comforts of home with you and hang out with a whole new group of friends and be comfortable while you're doing it. That's why we do it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's wonderful.
Well, we've been chatting it up now for a little over an hour, and I've not had to use this button once. I don't know what's the deal with that. I mean, I thought Lynn was like going to be blasting them out left and right. That's the way she was in the warm-up call, and like I hadn't even had to push the button one time.
I did almost tell him the backing up story. I almost did. And I was like, oh, I'm very proud of myself. I did not drop an F-bomb at all.
I promise you that if we meet and we're around a campfire, there will be at least one F-bomb.
Okay.
Oh, at least. Because there will be alcohol, so there will definitely be.
Well,
yeah, we heard you talking about the moonshine, so we're looking forward to that.
Cheers to that. That's awesome. Well,
oh, that's a whole story.
Yeah. Well, we'll
get that one on the next one.
Hopefully, hopefully one of your 10 listeners that you say you have is not an ABC officer.
Yeah. No,
it's just for personal consumption. It's not for sale.
That's right.
Distribution.
Yeah.
It's not distribution.
Well,
right.
There you go. Well, we can't thank you enough for giving us a little bit of time, and we thank you also for kind of raising your hand and saying you'd be, willing to come on as a guest and chat. I mean, and
share their story because it's pretty fun.
It is. Yeah. And, we've talked to lots of different people so far on the podcast. Some have been, around Airstreams their whole life, others brand new. And, you guys just a couple years now, but you can tell that you're passionate owners and love the trailer, love the brand. And we wish you the best in your Airstreaming future. So Thank you guys so much for being on with us.
Well, thank you guys for doing this. Yeah. It's great to be able to hear the other people that you've had on that haven't had or had about the same level of experience that we have, because you've had a few of those, but also still hearing the people that have done it for decades. And the passion is the same, whether or not it's, again, 10 months or 10 years or even longer. Everybody has that same kind of drive and love for it. So it's good to hear.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It doesn't change. Their passion remains the same from day one, I think.
Yeah, it grows.
Yes. Yeah.
It grows.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well,
that's for us.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we will see you down the road as soon as we can. And thank you again for being on the podcast with us.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you soon.
Gina, so that was fun. I mean, we always are. I mean, we're getting great guests.
We sure are. I'm telling you. And what I'm worried about with this couple that we just talked to is I'm thinking their daughter's going to have an Airstream sooner than they think.
Yeah, maybe. Well, but that's a good thing.
Yes, and somewhere in there I heard her say that she's engaged. So, that could make a great wedding present, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, we should have brought that up.
We should have.
Well, yes. we that was a great visit and very cool couple. Can't wait to meet them in person. So,
yes.
Listener, we hope you enjoyed the episode. By all means, follow the podcast wherever you listen to it so you can be notified of future episodes. Send us a message or a question to info@therivetedfox.com. And we can't wait to have you come back on a future episode. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. We love you big time. And what do we always say, Gina?
We'll see you down the road.